Ladies and gentlemen, the museum's most treasured masterpiece, Centipede, a portrait of a woman with true romance and beauty. Tonight, she will come back.
Hey, everyone, this is your girl, Creole Butterfly, Libra Butterfly, Coco 929, coming to you from the great state of Kentucky, where the women are beautiful and the horses are fast, or the horses are beautiful and the women are fast. It just really depends on what you darn like. I want to say, happy birthday, happy quinceañera, happy bar mitzvah, happy anniversary to Lottie Dottie and everybody who's celebrating something today on April 13th, 2024. Y'all, this, I swear, we almost in the middle of the year. Good grief, I reckon. So anywho, I want to say, what else was I going to say to everybody? You know, I'm the Oprah of the what? The smooches. So you get a smooch, you get a smooch, you get a smooch. Everybody gets a darn blessed to smooch. And shout out to all of my wonderful butterflies. Hey, smooches, y'all. And hope you feel that. Hope you see that. Hope you apply it where necessary. Hey, 300, thank you for being here. Simply good. Good morning, love. Simply living. Good morning, love. Let's say good morning, Coco. Let's go into it. I've been hearing about Cern for about 8 years now. I first heard about it from Pastor Stefan Darby before he passed away. Yeah, he is the one who enlightened me on it as well. He's from my city and everything. God rest his soul. I know his wife as well. Shout out to you, our girlie drop down. Oh, Dee Dee, smooches to you. Thank you so much. Even if you don't drop down, boo, I appreciate you. It's just a safe zone here. So I'm not gonna touch on it too much because I'm trying to do something before I have to judge a competition. And just in case, y'all, I will be over on the spaceship, aka Pizarro's channel. I am one of the chicken judges today. Go figure. I'm trying to branch out a little bit more, y'all, because normally I stay to myself and just, but I'm trying to. So since I used to be a chef, I am gonna judge it accordingly. I know these people are not professional. I don't expect them to be, but cleanliness is next to godliness. That's not a Bible verse. That's a good saying, though. You can't find it in the Bible. I dare you. Okay. I know a lot of people say the Bible says cleanliness is next. That is not what the Bible says. Stop lying. So, anywho, moving forward. So yeah, I will be, I'm looking for how it looks because we can't taste it, so it has to be appealing to the eyes. Pizarro has made it winner takes all, so there will not be a first, second, or third. It's going to be one winner takes all. So that makes me look a little bit more harshly than maybe I would, okay? Because maybe, yeah. I always feel like me, I'm a sucker for people. So I always feel like it should be at least once a first, second, and third prize, because people try their hardest. So give them something. But it's not my challenge. So, but I am looking forward to, being one of the considered judges and everything. And y'all, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Y'all see that sun? So that sun is in, and y'all hear that noise? That's my line guy. He's out here doing what he do. That's the best line guy here across the Mason Dixon. I put him up against anybody. My yard be looking immaculate, and y'all, I got a whole lot of yard. Do you hear me? A whole lot of yard. Trust and believe. So anyway, let me see. I usually do not tiptoe over to the spaceship, but I tune in today. Aw, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Lady Lie is in the competition. Yep, she sure is. So far, I think it's ODS, Lady Lie, Lovely Love, Brooke, and somebody else. I think it's 5 contestants all together. And at first, it started out, it was just going to be a chicken competition. But then Pizarro said she wanted to be a chicken and 2 sides. So it's a meal. Okay. And I was just up on the platform because somebody wanted to know if they can do their noodles before the competition. No, it only takes 8 minutes for noodles to cook. You get an hour and 30 for your complete meal. And for big pieces of chicken, this is for people who don't know, like breasts, and all that's big. It only takes between 12 to 15 minutes to fry a big piece of chicken. A lot of people don't know that. I know that because I'm a cook and I also was a chef. So you learn some things that other people don't know. I can't assume that everybody knows that, so I just thought I would throw that out there. It only takes 12 to 15 minutes. You have to look at your chicken, the biggest piece, and see. Here's another key for everybody who cooks, right? Hey, the queen, smooches love on this 30 for everybody who cooks, okay? And this, if you already know this disregard it, okay? But this is a FYI. When you are cooking chicken, okay, this is what people don't know. You should always cook your big pieces first because it takes less time for legs and wings to cook, okay, and thighs. So you always cook your big piece of chicken first. So that way, as your grease begin to turn, you don't care because it'll only take between 6 to 8 minutes for the rest of the chicken to cook. See what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Yeah, I'm so proud. Look, I took my son. Well, my son took me. I drove him. He paid for my groceries. I drove my baby boy to the grocery store this morning. I love our time we spend together, but I drove my baby boy to the grocery store this morning, and we was in there, and he is perfecting his cooking. He's a single guy. He lives on his own. He was like, man, I get tired. He said, I can't make it to my mama's house and eat, and my mama forgets about me. Yeah, I was cracking up. I said, bad mama, bad mama. He said, I had to start really getting into making my food taste the way I wanted to taste. So now he knows how to make uh, different type of burgers, which he knew how to make one type. He did know that. He knows how to make a certain type of spaghetti now. He knows, like, he's really getting into this cooking stuff. Like, he calls me and be like, Mama, what goes with such a, okay, how do I do that? Walk me through it. He's like, oh man, he told me he cooked steak on his own. He said it was all that, Mama. He did it on the stove and then threw it in the oven for a little bit and brought it. He said, man, that steak was tender. I said, I told you. So I'm so proud of him because he could just be a lazy single man and just eat quick food and going out here to these restaurants and stuff. But he's really learning to cook. I'm like, oh, tear. Anyway, move forward. So yeah, no, don't even when they grow up like that and you like, okay, now my oldest son, he used to want to be a chef. So he took up culinary. Hey Kendra, smooches. He took up culinary in high school and everything, got straight A's. Straight A's. And so now the boy know he can cook his butt out. And what he don't know how to cook, he come and ask me. You know, and everything. But he had two parents that could cook. My husband could cook, you know. So yeah, they had an oh, he really trimming up my yard. I can hear him. That's why I'm speaking so loud, y'all. I'm sorry. But yeah, he really they really can cook. And my girls, my one daughter, she has she has a cooking business in St. Louis, and she's going to get a food truck. She got a great deal on a food truck, so she should be getting that between now and May. And she's gonna have her own food truck and stuff. But she does meals 3 times a week that she sells out of it. She got her own company. She does, weed infused desserts and all this and stuff. She's making a killer. She's making so much money right now. She's thinking of walking away from school. I told her no, finish school. She's already got 2 degrees. She's working on her third. When I told her finish school, you only got a year. You only got 1 year. You've done great. Finish your school. And so, since she's in there for business, she thought, well, that's kind of smart since I own my own business. Yeah, duh. So yeah, some of the best chefs in the world. When I met my spouse, he was working at this particular restaurant. He had been there for some years, right? And everything. And so when we made it official, start dating, he wanted to meet my mother. And I told him, oh Lord, my mother is a special case. She don't like nobody. Okay, it takes a lot for her to like you. She don't like nobody. He said she gonna love me. Who don't love a nigga named Weedy? Because that's his nickname. Everybody called him Weedy, right? So I was like, oh Lord. So I went to church that day, and when I came home, I mean, he had threw down. Do you hear me? And everything. He was like, what time she gonna get here? I said, I don't know, but she'll be here. Trust me, because she's looking forward to meeting you. So and everything. And so he was himself and everything. And she came in, and all this and stuff. And he fixed her plate and all that and stuff, and it went rather well. It did. Of course, she questioned him. She said, like it. So he couldn't get a read on her. So as I walked her outside when she was going to leave, she said, "Let me tell you something." I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "He's all right. I like him." She said, "Let me tell you something else." I said, "What?" She said, "He loves you." She said, "I could see it in that man's eyes. Anybody mess with you, he gonna kill them." He said, "Boy, gone off you." I was like, "That's what everybody keeps saying." She said, "Baby, it's in his eyes." I said, "Oh, okay." For my mama to see it, that's saying something. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun. So yep. So she did, and she called him her son until she calls him her son now. Even though he's dead and all that, she never said son-in-law. She said, "That's my son." She said he was my son. So yeah, I'm like, okay. But anyway, y'all, we are here today. We are gathered here today to talk about this thing called Cern. Okay. I did a video on this once before, but as we getting closer to everything happening now, I think this is gonna be probably I'm starting over. This is gonna be part one, and I'll come back and do a follow up because I can't do everything today. So y'all, let me. Okay, the picture that I have on my profile picture, that's the picture of Cern. Okay, and a lot of people's like it doesn't affect me. Yes, Cern does. Cern affects everybody, every human being. Um, there are I think three different spots where these machines are. But let me show you something. Let me tell you why, because this is going to back up everything that I got to say. Hold on one moment. Oh, shoot. Typing on the wrong computer. Hold on. Here we go. I want y'all to see this title right here. Bet you she don't love you. Like she know I love you. Yeah. Oh. Let me make sure y'all can see it. Gonna bet you, gonna bet you, gonna bet you, gonna bet you she don't love you. Okay, check this out. Right here. Bill Gates' venture aims to spray dust into the atmosphere to block the sun. What could go wrong? Ask yourself, why is a trillionaire wanting to block the sun? This is from Forbes. You can look it up. I came out here and told y'all when I heard about this 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, that Bill Gates was paying a scientist in a college to create something. He was backing them to block the sun. What in the Sam Hello Kitty would you want to block the sun for? I'll wait. Okay. God is the sun. Let's just get that straight. Okay. God is the sun. Anything that belongs to God is light. Would y'all agree with that? All things that go with God is light. That's why when you are a light in spirit and you show up in these places that's dark, people don't like you because you illuminate the darkness. Okay, remember I told y'all that. I said I'm a light. When I show up places where there's evil, they hate me automatically and don't know me because of the light that I bring. I bring the light from God. So we need the sun to grow different things. We need the sun to do a lot of things. Sun gives you your vitamin D3. Okay, 15 minutes in the sun. It's called sunbathing. Gives you your vitamin D3, and they always tell you. Even doctors will tell you, get out in the sun for a couple of minutes and everything. Let your body soak up vitamin D. So can you tell me why he would want to block out the sun? That don't even make no sense to me. When you block at the sun, that brings utter darkness. Okay. Now, for those of you all who feel like what I'm about to say will never happen, you have been living under a rock. Do you understand that? Okay, you've been living under a rock. Hello, come on out. It's okay to come out. So let me get to this. Cern is a very big. Let me see if I can pull another. Hold on. Gonna betcha, gonna betcha, shoulda betcha, gonna betcha he don't love you. It's pulling up, y'all. This is the one in Switzerland. Make sure y'all can see it. This is the one in Switzerland. See how long that tunnel is? Hold on. Trying to get a better picture as well. Okay, it's the same picture. It's gonna keep pulling up the same picture. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna try to hit this and get out for this and come back and close it out. Okay, it won't be today, but I will be back to close it out. Okay, so here's the thing, y'all. We need to be concerned because, from my understanding, they're almost at the peak where they're trying to do. There is a wall that's holding back darkness. Okay, in the Bible, it speaks of a gulf between the natural and the demonic. Right. Right, simple, and everything. Because what's happening is, okay, CERN holds back what we would consider antimatter. Okay, we are the matter, which means the light, the living. We are the matter. Anti means against living, against light. Okay, so that would be darkness, demonic. Okay, so just to give you, what I'm talking about. The antimatter is what they're trying to bring and let come through. And because they've dug so much, there is some recordings and some things that they have released that they hear demonic voices, demonic sounds now. That's how deep they've went. Okay. So they actually have almost penetrated the doors of hell, basically. Okay. To where antimatter is free. Here's the thing. It takes a lot of negative and dark things to feed to this in order for this to be broken open or to have the power to do what it needs to do. Can you imagine? Look at the world, the way the world is today, right? We got all these mass shootings, we got killings, we got, husbands just killing their whole families and wives and stuff. We got stuff now we never heard of, right? Not in abundance the way that we hear about it now. Can you imagine if they penetrate CERN? What that means is every demonic thing that you can even think of would dominate this world. One of the things that's holding back that is our belief in Jesus. Those of us who really are still believing in Jesus and the Holy Spirit, and our time with Him, and reading the Bible, and speaking positive and being a light. That's holding all that back. All of this is connected, y'all. Everything that's going on now And all of this is connected. There are powers that be that is creating different situations to happen, earthquakes, tornadoes, things like that. Some of these things are not an act of God. Let me holler allegedly. Some of these things allegedly are not an act of God. Some of these things are being done by certain machines that some people have. And I know some of y'all don't believe it, and that's fine. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to tell you what I know and go on about my business. Some of this stuff is being created by machines. Let me see. They still looking for the God practical, the glue that holds us. Yes, they want to find out what happened with the Big Bang Theory, which we know was a fabricated story. They wanted to know what happened with the Big Bang Theory. So that's why they're trying to physically bust through something that's not meant for us to bust through. Okay, they want to make this happen because we need to know what happened with the Big Bang Theory. Okay, as I told you guys, for a while, God had me in studying Noah because God kept saying to me, I need you to understand, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be for the coming of the Lord. He said, I need you to really understand that as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it. And that's all he kept telling me. And that's why I told y'all God keeps speaking to me as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be. Okay, remember back in Noah's day, if you don't know the story, I advise you to go to and look up Genesis and all that. But back in Noah's time, remember, Noah and his family was the only one saved. But before they even got on the ark, okay, there was a lot of other things happening. What was happening? Well, what was happening was they was raping, they was killing, they was stealing, they was uh, creating animals, mixing two species together that didn't belong together. That's how we came up with the dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus, all the sauruses and stuff. How the Cordactyl birds, the real big birds, and the fruit that was as big as a man's head, and all of that. And all that happened with the fallen angels. See how I'm tying all this together? All that happened with the fallen angels who seen the women and went into the women to have kids who are considered the giants, aka Nephilim, which is kids of the fallen angels. Okay, and they were the giants. And what happened was everything started being mixed because the giants, if you go back to my teaching on that, the giants actually taught mankind things that God never wanted us to know. And so, like, he taught them charms, he taught them jewels, he taught them, even makeup. He taught them the mixing of chemistries and what. So man started to manipulate different things. These are Cain's kids. See how all this tying together? These are Cain's kids. Man started to manipulate all these things, and they got so corrupt that God regretted that he made man. Yes, God actually said in the Bible, I regret that I made men. Because everything that they were doing, we wasn't supposed to do. We wasn't supposed to know. So the only thing God could do was start over. And he decided to grab one family that was out of doubt, without blemishes, without anything. They were still pure, and that was Noah. And he told Noah, I'm going to flood the earth. This is what I need you to do. Okay. And he gave it to Noah on what to do. And it took years for Noah to build the ark. So just think of everything that went on in that time while Noah and his family's building the ark, everything that went on. Giants and more giants and more giants, and giants begat giants, and evilness here and raping here. It got to the point where the human beings could not feed the giants to a certain point to where giants start eating humans. Cannibalism. See what I'm saying? So yeah. So all of that is okay. So yeah. Yeah, I see where I'm going with this. So now let me see. I think they want to loose the evil that is in. Right. Big Bang. Like, man, God spoke everything into it. There you go. He sure did. That's why even what is that man who said everybody said that Dorton. Is it Dorton or Dorton? The one that everybody said we came from monkeys, like we erected from monkeys and all of this stuff. Don't y'all know on his deathbed, he told them, he said, it was just a thought I had in my head and somebody took it and ran with it. He said, I never said that for facts that we came from monkeys. He never, people took that Darty. Anyway, people took that and ran with it. He confessed on his bed that is not true. So why are these people still going with this theory when the man himself corrected it before he died? Let me sip some coffee, y'all. Give me one moment. I'm already on my second cup. It's gonna be one of them days though. Whew. Okay. Hey, Catherine Boo. Darwin, thank you. I know who Dorton is. Dorton used to own Red Lobster. So I got Dorton and Darwin. You right. These fake natural disasters are from. Come on, Simple Living. See, you my kind of people. See, I love y'all. Y'all my peoples. Y'all my peoples. Okay. Right. They don't want us to know that God exists when he created the whole world. Hey, bird, smooches, boo. Thank you for dropping down. So yeah, y'all, Cern is like I said, you know how close you got to be to hell to hear demonic groanings and moanings and stuff like that. But do you know how also demonic you have to be to even want to hear that, even want to but okay, everybody don't belong to God. Let me tell y'all, one of the gifts, and I say this because some of your kids might this might be them. One of the gifts I've been having outside of being prophetic ever since I was 4 years old is one of the gifts I can meet you. And if I shake your hand or if I look at you in your eyes, I can tell whether or not you belong to God or you belong to the devil. For the first year or so that was happening to me, and I was just hit around the age of 4, y'all. That's why I remember it. The first year this began to happen to me, I didn't know what it was, so I wouldn't tell nobody. But people would, like my grandmother would say to me, why you squint when you see some people? And I couldn't tell her, but I knew I could tell my grandmother anything. So eventually I said, well, some people, when I look at them, they so bright it hurts my eyes. And I said, some people, they so dark, it scares me. And she looked at me. She said, huh? So I told her again. And she said, okay, you always listen to that. I said, yes, ma'am. And that's been happening to me ever since I was 4 years old. I could look at somebody through their eyes. And that's why a lot of times, a lot of people that know me know, they always tell me, girl, I can't look at you in your eyes. It's something about your eyes. And so I can look at people in their eyes and say, mm-mm. And they can be smiling. They can have on all church stuff and everything, y'all, for real. They can have on all of that. And gotta be like, no, not that one. That's not mine. They don't belong to me. It's a lot of people that's preaching, and it's a lot of people that y'all know that are preachers that y'all get ready to see that is not God's. They went, hey, Forever Lisa Smooches, y'all. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be one of the judges in her competition, too. I think her competition is a head competition. It's in May. Please come and support. Uh, but yeah, y'all, it's a lot of ministers, unfortunately, that don't belong to God. Okay, one, let me tell y'all about that nobody's talking about. Okay, so about 5 years ago, I told my husband, I said, and I quote, Juanita Bynum is not the same Juanita Bynum as she used to. Let me tell y'all why I know this. One year she came to Kentucky, and Juanita Bynum laid hands on me. She, how did she call it? I'm birthing what's in there out. You shall no longer be hidden. Yours shall come forefront. And something else she said, and she said, bow, right? That woman has some hard hands, but I digress. Let's move forward. Stay focused. When she did it, let me tell you, the anointing that was on that Juanita Bynum, I was at, okay, say it's 30 rows. I was at 30. She was at 0. At 30, the anointing was so hard and so heavy on her that you could feel it where you was in the 30th row. And as I walked forward, because she was, pulling, as I walked forward, I started losing the activities of my legs, y'all. That's how strong that anointing was on her. And you can't fake anointing. Either you got it or you don't. And that anointing was so strong on her, honey. And when she commanded and spoke and bam, I promise y'all, I went out and they had to catch me because I would like that. So, okay, having that experience with her, and I had told everybody, before we went in, I said, she's powerful. I said, I already see how this is going to go. And it's funny how I knew that. I said, but she's powerful. But the Juanita, about 5 years ago, something happened. And I'm going to say between 5 and 6 years ago. And I remember telling my late husband, I said, that's not Juanita. I said, they need to deliver her. Somehow, some way, she's thing went up under a spell. I said, and she's more now in witchcraft than she is anointing. And you can't have it both. You can't be a witch and a prophet. That don't match, okay? You either gonna be a witch or you're gonna be a prophet. You can't be both. And I said, she needs to be delivered. I said, it's funny, nobody is looking at that. All these people just want her for her money and all the people she can bring. I said, she's gonna crash. She's gonna crash. And I'm gonna tell you, this was right around the time her daddy died. Whatever year that was, after that, it's something that happened. I don't know what happened, but now in 2024, she's trying to get back to where she was. And we'll see. We'll see. Let me see what y'all saying. That's so true. Do you think she had a spiritual change before, after she married Mr. Weeks? I want to say, I don't think she knew how to be a wife. I don't think she knew how to be a wife. She still hadn't dealt with her demons. There was some demons that she needed to deal with that she hadn't dealt with. There was some old natures that she needed to deal with she hadn't dealt with. And I think had she waited, it probably would have worked, but she would have to come out of who she thought she was at the time to be his wife. And he would have to come up. He's such a meek and mild man and everything that you don't really hear nothing about him anymore either. Even his wife that he has, she's a prophet too, but you don't hear anything about them at all. At all. It's like after that whole matter happened, they just disappeared. I mean, I'm quite sure they still preaching, but you really just don't hear anything, about it. I believe that she ran like what I'm saying is y'all remember the No More Sheeps Juanita, right? And then y'all remember the Juanita that was doing the conventions and everything and stuff. During that time is when it's just like something transpired and got a hold to her. Like it was an opening. And then once her mom got sick, it really just went to doohickey, right? And so I see her now trying to get back to where she was. And I don't think God has approved that yet. I'm going to say it like that. Because she belongs to God. I just don't think he has approved her status back to where she was yet. I don't think he has done that yet. And I have to be careful with my words, because I don't want God to whoop me, but and everything. So uh what else was I gonna say? So this Cern thing, y'all, we should really be, as Simple Living said it, we should really be concerned. Cern. We should really be concerned about this because this right here has the making to end this world very quickly. God sealed our hell for a reason. The worst angels that fell from heaven are sealed in the bottomless pit. It's called the abyss. Okay, it's sealed, and that's what they're trying to deal in. We can't handle Bobo them that we know that they rob people and stick people up and all this and stuff. Okay, even if you come in contact with the darkness, okay, the antimatter, if you come in contact with the antimatter, don't you know it magnifies the antimatter in you, because we all have darkness in us, right? Whether we let that darkness come through or not, because we're human. So we all have something in us that ain't quite right. So when you come in contact with that antimatter, it magnifies the darkness that's within you. So anybody who uh you know has this thing that's sitting in them to say, you know what, if it wasn't for a little bit, I would run that person over. Y'all ain't never thought stuff like that. I would smack this person. I would, that thing right there amplifies. Okay. So we need to really, really have a prayer life. We need to really, really come against the powers that be. And a lot of y'all, because y'all life is going very, very well right now, y'all don't think this bothers you or this concerns you. It absolutely concerns you, because no matter where you live, where you go, how great you are, how much money you got in the bank account, it has nothing to do with the demonic spirits that would be released if they keep on going and penetrate the abyss. Your money ain't gonna do you no good with them demons sitting right there in your house messing with you. Anytime the darkness that would take over this earth, even when the sun's out, it would be like the eclipse 24 hours a day. To me, the people at Cern are like the people at Bab. Oh yeah, thank you, because that's what I pulled up. Girl, thank you. That's exactly what I was gonna read to y'all. Thank you so much for getting me back on track. I appreciate you. Hold on, give me one moment. Is that it? Yep, right there. Okay. And for you all to think that this can't happen, let me give you a history lesson real, real quick. Thank you so much. Let's pull this up. Yeah, AT&T suck. Did I tell y'all that? Just in case I didn't, let me just tell y'all AT&T suck. Okay. And shout out to my friend that's out there doing yards today. I swear, ain't nothing like a hard working man. Second job is doing second job is doing your that's and not little house yards either. Buildings and corporations and all this stuff, land side and trimming it up, and that's some hard work. Do you hear me? So shout you out today. Um, Okay, the Tower of Babel. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and break them thoroughly." They used bricks instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they say, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we would be scattered over the face of the whole earth." But the Lord came down. Come on now. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower and the people were building. The Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible." Come on. If we get on one accord, if you get on one accord to work together, nothing you do is impossible. "Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of a whole world. From there, the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. That's why we also have many languages. If you always wanted to know how people begin to speak Spanish, Mexican, Mandarin, Chinese, Japanese, and all of that and stuff, it happened at the Tower of Babel. That's where it happened. That is the place where speech changed. Okay, that's the place where speech changed. So a lot of people didn't know that. So no, it just everybody wasn't born on earth speaking different languages. God troubled their language, changed their language, because they were all on one accord and they understood each other. And he said, with them together, paraphrasing, if y'all come together on one accord, there's nothing they can't do. So he wanted to make sure that they didn't understand each other because they could have reached heaven. So he changed their language. Now here's the thing. I'm gonna put a poll out here today. I mean a quiz. Y'all know I do my Bible quizzes at least once a week. I'm gonna put a quiz out here. When do you all think that they all came together again? And this I just gave you a hint. Okay, let me see. Before the languages changed, I believe people talked to animals and they understood as well. I don't know because in the beginning of time, remember God said it's not good for man to be alone because Adam spoke to God and said, horses have horses, chickens have, I'm paraphrasing, ox have ox, and blah, blah, blah. They could commune with each other, but Adam couldn't. He didn't understand them and they didn't understand him. So that's why God, told him, yeah, you're right. In other words, it's not good for man to be alone. So I'm going to give you a help meet. I'm going to give you bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh. Okay. I said, when do you think that they all came back? Those that were scattered and their speech was changed. When is it that they all came back? And I'm going to put that on my quiz. I'm gonna put that on the quiz. That's gonna be. I always put 3 questions out there on the quiz, and I give y'all the answers too. So yeah, but I don't think he was able. Maybe he was, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying from what I've studied. And if you go back to Genesis, that's where God, created Eve from because he needed Adam to have somebody he could commune with, and somebody that he can be one with. And so that's why he took his rib from Adam and made Eve, you know, and it's bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. So yeah. So you could be right, but I just haven't read it. I haven't read it. He could, that they understood each other. I hadn't read that. And I can only give you what I know, and everything. That's a good question. I think the people started understanding again was when computers and oh, really? Okay, Dee Dee. Yeah, when we get out of here, I'm gonna put the questions out here, the quiz. It's just gonna be 3 questions. I love to see how y'all answer those. Those would be really, really fun for me. Let me see. Hey, Creole, you never got back with me, dear, to confirm of being a job for me. I'm sorry. Oh, no problem, baby. No problem. I thought I told you, yeah, but you're right. It's been so much that's been happening in my life. Is thank you anyway. Thank you for even considering me. It's no big problem, babe. I'm still trying to come over and support you. Okay, no problem. No, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you wrong, Didi. It's just I just love to put these questions out here. And it's not like I know everything. Trust me, I don't. Uh, and everything. Some things I know because I went to school for it. Like one of my degrees is in biblical studies. So, of course I'm gonna know a little bit more than the average person, not much, but a little bit on a little bit, so yeah. And I just like to enlighten, like people didn't know, people really thought that when the migrants, the wise men, when they came to see Jesus, that Jesus was still this little itty bitty baby in the manger, and he wasn't. It took the migrants at least 2 years to get to Jesus. They was traveling on camel, not horses. So on camels move very slowly. They don't move as fast, and they had to travel over a certain amount of places and all that. Jesus was about 2.5 years old by the time they got to where he was. And plus, considering that a lot of people thought it was just 3 wise men. And I've answered that so many times. So, no, there wasn't just 3 wise men. Okay, there was more. They brung 3 things, frankincense, myrrh, and gold. They brung 3 things, but there wasn't 3 wise men. And I think that came about because of the 3 things that they brought. So they automatically adopted this thing that it was 3 wise men. No, if you're coming to see a king and a king that you've been foretold about, a king that was told to you in the prophetic vision that he would be born, that the king to all kings, that he would set us free from bondage and all that. You're not just going to bring 3 little pieces. You're going to come bearing gifts. So even if Christ was born poor, he was not living poor. Okay, his mama and daddy was well to do by time them eating, by time them wise men got to him and brought frankincense, myrrh, and gold, because those was valuable commodities at that time. That was at the top of the tier. So yeah. Okay, baby. Thank you for Lisa. I love Jesus too, Dee. Yes, honey. So yeah, but yeah, just this discern thing. All I want y'all to take away from this is it's not a good thing, okay, for them to be tampering with this, that they're trying to bring evil upon the earth to satisfy their leader, who is the devil. Everything that's in the natural has a spiritual meaning, and everything in the spiritual has a natural meaning. That's what you need to understand. Your question should be, why is it important to penetrate hell? What will you get from penetrating hell? Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing you need to remember is anti means against. So if we're matter and lights matter, anti matter is darkness, anti matter is demonic. That's what you need to remember. Okay, anti is against. So that's another thing. Why are you wanting the antimatter to take over? And realize there is a reason that God has put a gulf between hell and earth. And just to remember the rich man, I'm fast forwarding, I'm paraphrasing. The rich man who wanted to go, he said, send Lazarus to stick his finger in water to put out my tongue, to put the burn out of my tongue, got the heat out of my tongue, to cool off my tongue. And God said, there's a gulf between that. Okay. There's a gulf. So there's a blockage for a reason. God did that for a reason. So why, yet again, hey, then, is man tried to tear down what was put in place? So that's some questions you need to ask yourself. That's something, like I said, this is just part one. I'm going to finish up with part two. We're going to do that this week coming up. I'm not going to prolong it. But because I have to get ready to judge in about an hour, I don't want to stay on here too much longer. But that's something you have to ask yourself, and that's something you have to prepare yourself for as well. Now, I have been telling you guys to stock up on different things and things like that, just in case, right? So I hope you still been doing it. Um, it was something I saw the other day that I wanted to tell you guys about. Oh, let me go here. There is a scripture. Here, let me just bring it up. Let me hold on. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Let me pull this up. No. That's not in. Okay, hold on. Mhm. Okay. Here and this is road and go red plate. Okay, check this out. So y'all know y'all have heard many people try to describe Jesus, right? Okay. And for the longest, even I was like, yeah, because until you study for yourself on some things, you know, you hear things, and because you've heard it before, you kind of agree with it. But I am one of them, and plus, my name written is an apostle. Okay, I am, different documentations and affirming that I have. Affirmations that I have has affirmed me also as an apostle. So apostle sets order. So I mean, that's just something we do. If you want to sum it up to what an apostle do, an apostle sets order. All right. So that means whatever ain't right, we make it right. Whatever's a lie, we make the truth. See what I'm saying? We set order. Okay. So let me read this to you guys because people have, and I'm gonna tell you where I'm coming from. I am coming from Revelations, okay, which is a book all preachers except myself hate to read. I'm always in Revelations. Revelations, the first chapter, 14 through the 15th verse. Let me read this to you. It said, his head and his hers were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they were burnt in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So therefore, if we would go and try to paint a picture of him, it said his head and his beard. I'm sorry, his head and his hairs were white like wool. So think about it. His head is white, his hairs is white as snow, and his eyes are like flame, and his feet are unto brass, fine brass, as burnt in a furnace. That's not a physical description of Christ. That has a meaning. That is what you call uh what is the words I want to use? That's saying that's a spiritual meaning more than it is a physical meaning. And a lot of people take that, oh, his feet was as brown as brass. They were burnt as furnace. Yeah, but his head was white and his hair was white, like wool, and as white as snow. Can you imagine looking at somebody like that? And he was good to look upon, they said. But this right here, that's not saying that. So that's a spiritual meaning. That's a two meaning. Okay. That's not a physical meaning. That's a two meaning. Okay, another thing. Let me bust this wide open while we at it. Okay. This is just a little Bible study. Y'all going to church tomorrow. This is a little Bible study. Okay, so let me bust this open too. Uh the Sabbath day. No, I'm gonna put that in the quiz. I'm gonna put that in the quiz. So never mind. I ain't gonna say that. I will say this. If Jesus Christ was crucified on a Friday, okay? They say he was crucified on a Friday. And they said he got up 3 days later. What's 3 days later? I see you, DD. But ask yourself, if he was crucified on a Friday, and our hours are, remember in the Bible, if you read in Genesis, God says from noon, from evening to morning is the first day. Okay. We consider from morning to night. God said from evening to morning is a day. So let's consider back in biblical time from evening to morning, one day. So he was crucified Friday night. Okay, they would take him on over to Saturday. Okay, Saturday night would be, and it would take him on over to Sunday. So would he have rose Sunday? I ain't gonna tell you how to answer to that. Just think about that. Would he have rose on a Sunday? Get up early Sunday morning. Wouldn't that be 2 days? I ain't the smartest. Apple in the bunch, I ain't even the sharpest pencil in the pencil box. I promise you I'm not. So I just think about that. Right. And before then, remember the person who changed the calendar was what is his name? It starts with a C. He was just on the tip of my tongue. Oh my goodness. It's a movie about him out too. Anyway, so I just wanted to ask you all that. Just think about that. Just think. Remember the people who changed everything concerning Jesus. Who is the people who changed everything concerning Jesus? I'll wait. I'm gonna see if y'all know this. Let me see if my blind person sent me a text. He probably did. Told me he was through with my yard. Thank you, boo. Ah, he is so sweet. Okay, I knew he had sent me a text. I'm like, let me check and see if my line person done sent me a text. Yes, Dee Dee, you're right. Yes, it was the Roman Catholics. You are absolutely right. They are the ones. So, okay, let me ask this question. This is a hey, what's up, my brother from another mother? What's up, Derek C. Williams? If y'all have not supported him, please go support him. Uh, apparently, they speed up Adams in search of Hindu god of destruction there too. What you said? Yes, that's what I was talking about earlier. I pulled it up too, Dirk. I did. I pulled it up. Yep, you are absolutely right. Yes, 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 yes. So yeah, okay. So yeah, I see that. So okay. So here's the thing. Okay, now y'all are some honey. Y'all some straight A students. Okay, let me ask this, and we're gonna close with this question. Okay. So, if the Roman Catholics are the ones who changed everything about what we know being Jesus, from his color, Mary's color, his stuff in the catacombs, everything, okay? They changed it all. Who do you think is, or what entity do you think will be the Antichrist? Remember, against. Anti means against or from. Who do you think is going to bring in the Antichrist? If not be the Antichrist itself. And our Antichrist means is against Christ. Who do y'all think it's gonna be? I know the answer to this, but I just want to see what y'all think. For real. Yes! Come on, Dee Dee. Come on. See, you know more than what you thought, boo. Yes, Dee Dee. Uh-huh. That whole system. Their whole system, it's already begun, and people don't see it. They don't. They so blind right now. Every time something has changed, let me leave you with this. Every time there's a major change that has been made and snuck and done or whatever, they always throw a celebrity in your face, some celebrity gossip, something that takes your mind off of what's going on, so you can focus on stuff that ain't even necessary, so they can go ahead and make these moves, and then you look up and be like, how they do that, when they do that, I don't remember them doing that, because they blind you or entice you. It's like a kid with a toy. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, go home and you don't want your kid to notice that y'all going home, that kid, you will give that kid either an ice cream cone or a toy that they like to play with. They be so busy on their ice cream cone or their toy, they not watching the way you going home. And then when you pull up, you're like, hey, when we get home, I thought we was going to the park. See what I'm saying? That's how they do adults. They throw stuff in front of your face to keep your mind occupied on something that's not necessary or worth anything, so that they can make all these other moves to further put steps in place to do what they want to have done. Okay, come on, Dee Dee. Yes, Kendra. Yes, babes. Dee Dee hit that right on the nose. Yes. Thank you, 300. Where is it at? Right there. I know. See how all that's moving in place, Dirk? It's what I keep telling people. They went years of not approving their lifestyle. All of a sudden now they approving it. Let me tell you how this thing is gonna go. How I see this thing is gonna go, and not just me. It's been others that really study the word and really, allow God to lead their lives. Not everybody, but some of us we really do. Okay, and you know, not just me, there's been other ministers that has said what's trying to happen is in their one world order, it's also supposed to be one religion order. And this religion is going to be in charge of the one world order. Everybody is going to come up under one umbrella and believe supposed to believe one way. This year may be the year where some of us ministers that's been on the backside of the mountain, that God has been like holding us back here for his time, is going to emerge. And because some of us really walk what we walk with God, and we don't care if you like it or not, we're going to come against the world's pastors. It's God's people. Remember, I told y'all this 2 years ago. I'm just reiterating. It's God's people, God's mouthpiece, people like myself, is gonna come against people like others that y'all know that y'all thought was for God that has sold their soul. Okay? That's how that's gonna go down. It's gonna be a war of sorts. Okay? Because we gonna stand for what God says stand for, no matter who it offends, and they're gonna go with the system. All you gotta do is look at it now. There's people that's afraid to say anything. I'm like this. I can disagree with you and still like you. See, that's what I don't have to agree with you for us to be cool. If that's the case, then call me an enemy. If I have to agree with you, because I don't agree with fornication, I don't agree with adultery, I don't agree with none of that. So homosexuality ain't no different. And trust me, I got daughters that's homosexuals. I love them. But they know I don't agree with it, but I love you because you mad. And they're not asking me to agree with it. They asking me to love them. That's easy. I already do. I don't treat them no different or nothing because they're grown. There's something they have to work out with God on their own. Got nothing to do with me. When I close my eyes, I am 99.9% sure the Lord's going to bring me back home. I'm working on that other position. Because some people make me want to smack them in their throat muscle. I ain't lying. I'm saying, shoot. Okay. Some honey, let's just be real. I ain't perfect. I told y'all, you get me on the right day, I might cuss you out. And that's the truth. My cusser ain't broke. I just decided to give my tongue to the Almighty for his use. But trust me, this little project chick, because I was raised in the projects, I told y'all I've been in gangs and everything. Don't mess with that side of me, okay? Because she ain't forgot. And I'm deadly with weapons. Don't do that. So I had to release all that to God and let him fight. Y'all, you know when you a fighter and you stop fighting the way you fight and you try to let God handle everything. And I say try because some days, it's harder than others. But you try to let him fight your back. That's the hardest thing. But that's where that faith comes in at. Let me see. Legend has it. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get over here, soccer. I ain't got no glasses on. I'm gonna stop doing this to myself. Okay. Legend has it that will merge, that will have the gift, the gap to unify all. Come on. See, Derek, I knew I liked you. That's my brother, y'all, for real, because he's so intelligent. He is so intelligent. If y'all have not listened to his videos, please go listen to his videos, especially when it comes to the vaccine. Oh my goodness. Yes. People will dislike you because you spoke your opinion. Lisa, you better preach. Great book I read back in the late 1990s, best historian. Okay. Okay, my son has been studying all of this. It's alarming. I've been having dreams. The last one lines up with what you are saying now about. Shut up, for real. You know I interpret dreams. So if you ever, Kendra, have a dream, that's just another gift God gave me. I'm sorry people get mad at me because I'm gifted. I didn't ask for this. God gave me this as a kid. I've been interpreting dreams as long as I can remember. That is just a gift. So if you ever have a gift that you have not, that you don't understand what it means, you always can, email me and tell me your dream. And I always pray about them first. I don't just give my opinion. I pray about them first, then I get back with you. And so far, I've been on point. I've been on point. I called my own daughter. Let me tell you, she know how God deals with me. I called my own daughter and I told her, I've been a dream about you. What's going on? What is it that you're going through that you have not talked to me about? Because you want to, because you were sitting at my dining room table when I walk up. This when I woke up, this was in my dream. She was sitting at my dining room table, and I could tell there was something going on. It was an emergency, and she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Blah blah. I said, "Okay." I said, "Because you know God don't lie, right? So you're not a liar either, right?" And she got quiet. I said, "I'm gonna take you at your word." And I just left it alone because you know why? She gonna have to come full circle with that and admit, Mama, you was right. I've never been off, not one time. And I don't brag on me, I brag on him. Okay. Let's see. Yes, I remember looking a decade ago. Yes. In fact, to have any opinion aside from what CNN tells you. And y'all do know CNN is owned by the rich folks, not the millionaires. These are trillionaires. These are people who back in, remember I talked about Cain's kids, I talked about also the fallen angels and all that stuff. These are people that, remember I told y'all about, some of y'all been following me for a minute. I told y'all about the two blood types, that what blood type we was and who we came from. But then there's another blood type that actually came from like steaks and stuff like that, and they got these certain type of y'all. It gets deep. We get deep over here. I just haven't been teaching on it lately because people get offended. Yeah, I never understand at the time when it revealed itself later on like today. Oh, okay, baby. Yeah, I just made that known. If you ever have a point, and you feel like you can trust me with it, because I always want people that talk to me know they can trust me. I don't go back. Whatever you tell me, you tell me. And this is what my prayer is, because I do have different ministers and churches up under me that I cover. I always ask God, I want to forget it. I don't want to remember anything. And that's why a lot of time my own people, like if someone I have prophesied, they come back and they like, remember you said this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I did. Yeah, on this day, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. Eventually it'll be like, oh, okay. Because I don't want to remember that. It's too much. It's too much, you know. It's too much. Okay, so let me answer this question too. I had somebody ask me a question like, why do I always talk about God? First of all, why not? But okay, I understand. Okay, I've answered this before, but I don't mind answering it again. Make a long story short, the reason why I talk about God is because it was a promise that I made him if he did something for me. What he did for me was when he brought me out of everything I was in, I said, God, if you get me out of all of this, if you heal me from all of this that I've been through, I'm going through and all this, I will tell people about you. I will not be ashamed to tell people about the God that has delivered me. You are talking to a more than survivor of incest, molestation, multiple rapes, and abuse. And I went through all of that starting at the age of 8 years old. And I'm sitting here talking to you in my right mind. I've had a successful marriage, God rest his soul. We did it until death do us part, had a great king. Not only that, I was able to get my doctorate degree. Now, I don't know about you, but I had every chance in the world to sit back and be a nothing type of woman because of all the stuff that I had been through, but I survived. So I always tell people, don't feel sorry for me at all, because I'm more than a conqueror. Who you see sitting over here, whether I have the money or not, I'm very successful because I'm in my right mind. Do you know how many people who's been through less than me that's not in their right mind? I could have been one of them ladies that's standing on the corner, digging in her butt, half dressed, picking boogers, eating out of the trash can, holding up a sign. And I yet and still, I'm sitting right here in my right mind talking to you guys about how good my God is. So that being said, I tell everybody my channel ain't for everybody. It's not. It's for those of us who know we are rejects. What I mean by that is, like, we don't stand up with the status quo. We ain't got it all together, but we know what the little bit that we do got together, it was him who was crucified and rose again. The reason why we are where we are, we don't make no bones about it. We know that if it had been the other way around, we shouldn't be where we are, but we are here. And now that I'm here, I ain't gonna never stop talking about who got me here. Most women and a ton of men would have folded like a okay. Yes. So that's to answer the question. I don't mind telling my story. I wrote books about it. The picture you see on my screen right there, that's the name of my first book I ever wrote. It was called God Can Still Use Damaged Goods. Because I was a damaged person. I was in the process of coming out of that when I wrote my first book. I keep telling you, I'm not really an author. I just got stories to tell. That's it. So I always tell people, if you want my books, they on Amazon. All you gotta do is, email me. I'll tell you how to go on Amazon and get them. Or if you want signed copies from me, each book is $15. Get a signed copy. I ship them up. Or if you buy all three of the books, then it's just $30. So you buy two, get one free. I still ship it out. So, it is what it is. I've put it in the book. I know it's me going back on it now because it is what it is. So even if I did want to tell people, it's already out there because I put it in the book. I told you, I'm not an author. Let me tell you one thing that I loved about my very first book. Men were buying my books, and I had several fathers tell me, "I'm glad you wrote this," because when I asked my daughter started crying. I knew that somebody had messed with my daughter. So I'm glad you wrote this. It was a whole lot of daddies was like, I'm serious. They was emailing me saying, I'm glad you wrote your book. Cause my daughter was like, my brother touched her. And I would have never known that had you not. And it was women who had went through that, who had never spoken out, was like, this helped release me. So see, I do more than be on YouTube. I don't care if I don't have no YouTube success. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm touching real lives. God is blessing me to change real lives. So I might not be for you. Because some people get mad when you don't, put on the nose and the flappy feet and all that. They get mad about that. They want you to be their clown. I ain't no clown in no shape, form, or fashion. Okay? At all. At all. So anyway, like I said, y'all, just in case again, let me type in my email address. Here we go, right here. This is my email address. So if anybody would like to email me regarding my books or whatever, let me know. Just let me know who you are in the chat. So I know if you never drop down, say, look, I've never dropped down. Because I do got some people that email me that never drop down, but they listen to me and I appreciate them just like the ones that drop down. Okay. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to clear my mind and warm my coffee for this chicken challenge. I love you guys, and there's nothing you can do about it. And remember, no matter what the test, always do your best. Okay. I appreciate you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Smooches. Okay, babe, I'm going to check it right now. Thank you.